Greetings programs and welcome to a look at a very early version of a game called Neuroslicers. Now it is obviously the season for all things cyberpunk. There's obviously the titular game which is I think still due out before the end of this year. I don't know, I know there was an announcement of some delays recently, which okay is fine. I'd rather have a finished non-buggy product, but of course not everyone on the internet is capable of being so reasonable apparently, so there was some fairly ugly stuff around that, unfortunately. But yeah, there's also been other games that have capitalised on the interest of cyberpunk, that game, coming out this year, and this does seem to be one of them, although this isn't actually due out until next year sometime. And it's also not the only one. I think Ghost Runners, is it called? That came out very recently, and I'm sure there's other indie projects out there that are capitalising on the sudden interest in this particular kind of setting. And it's not like it's a new kind of setting. The idea of a cyberpunk has been around for several decades at this point, but it does seem to be enjoying a rather renewed interest in the last year or two. Although, I mean, I don't know how much is Cyberpunk the game itself, which has obviously been in production for several years at this point, but of course there was also Blade Runner 2049 coming out in, what was that, 2018? Which maybe feels a little less cyberpunky than the original Blade Runner, but it's still an absolutely gorgeous film. Anyway, so what is Neuroslicers? Well, it's a bit of an interesting mix-up between a kind of puzzle-ish game and an RTS, and it also has some deck building elements going on as well. This is at the moment the kind of main screen you start with, which is your player character's perspective sat on the edge of this building. The city that you're in, I can't remember, it's like Centauro or Cento or Centra or something, I can't remember. But yeah, it's a kind of future city where you are a titular neuroslicer, and there's a whole campaign thing of which there are only the first two parts of to play through in this alpha version, but there's going to be I think a heavy emphasis on an online component as well, which already has a thing available. I'm not actually trying to do any online, but
want a new friend?
Yeah, if there are people out there, they're going to be few and far between. So,
Whoa, someone's a great...
yeah, the characters are quite stylized.
Wait, there's something... Am I right, Wadaboo?
What? I've not actually clicked on her before, so this is... What did you just call me? I'm a Wadaboo?
Of course you are. Takes one to know one.
Okay.
So, you here for my CSL?
What's a CSL?
This is the Catena Star League. You want
Catena, there we go, there's the name of the city.
You enter Aurora's CSL. I run the slicing league. Surprised? A little. You can't fool me. I can't believe what you're hearing. How could little Aurora be commander-in-chief of the cute...
There's a little bit of RPG-ish stuff going on in your interaction with the few people that you can interact with.
So, how are we slicing this cupcake? Well, it's as I always say. The Catena Star League is the premier slicing league in all of Catena. Like Aurora. Fun! Oh, I like you. Aurora!
Okay, right, what I really want to do though is go back to the main menu, but I guess I have to...
Raring to go! Double cute!
Okay.
Oh, that's the spirit. Vicious now! This is the best. Before I let you out in the wild, I need to make sure you know
Going
what's
to
up.
tutorialize me a bit, but that's fine. We're going to skip past that because I'm not actually intending to do...
Sad face.
Or attempt to do any online stuff because I don't think they'll be in one play. But having done the first two story missions that are available, you can just replay them as many times as you like. Before we do that though, I guess we'll have a quick look at the deck. For which you go into the black market area, and as you can see I've built up a bit more of a relationship with this person. I think you can I'm struggling to remember because it was maybe like a month ago or more that I last played this, but yeah, I'm sure she gave me a mission or something like that to go and do. So yeah, there's kind of some RPG-ish, very light RPG-ish elements in terms of character interaction, but that's definitely not the emphasis of this game. So anyway, she's the shop where I can buy stuff, unlock slots for my deck, different upgrades and things, although I'm guessing, yeah, most of these aren't actually available yet, so that's fine. Like I said, this is an alpha version, so if you see anything go horribly wrong, which it shouldn't do, it seemed to be running relatively okay, it'll be because, you know, it's an early alpha. So also the fact that this is an alpha means that a lot of things are very subject to change. So you've got two separate deck building sections, and the decks basically dictate what you can build in terms of your actual RTS elements, in terms of like the units and the abilities that you have. That's all governed by these decks that you can invest into and swap around. So let's get on with the story. Now this is, I know what happens, so I won't spoil anything, but this is the kind of the very initial story guy you speak to, and you can pump him for a bunch of questions, and he'll explain some of the setting to you and propose that you work together. And it actually gives me two options here. It's actually got lorem ipsum text. This is how kind of alpha this is. But yeah, we can play just a kind of versus AI match, or I can do the story missions, which are of course purely versus AI. So let's do that.
Get ready.
Very strong art style. Obviously, they know exactly what they're going for, and it looks pretty good, honestly. I will actually flash up on the screen the studio that makes this. This is their first game. They're actually based in Brighton, and looking at their website, they've got all the portraits of the various game company staff done in that style, which I thought was quite cute. Anyway, so this is the very, very basic early tutorial stuff. WASD keys to move around, which is always nice. So this is our extremely basic structure that spreads territory.
Nodes expand your territory, and more territory means more control.
And these cost data. As you can see, this is our main resource.
If you're going to get any further, you'll need data.
We also have memory, which is a kind of
release on the data gen ability.
This is more of a currency. Data is a currency, and memories are a resource that you can kind of tie up with various kind of structures and nodes. So if we hold that, that uses up some memory, but that's now going to generate some data for us.
Gotta claim that access
But you
port.
can
Place a
also
node in it to take control.
reclaim memory by demolishing or removing structures that are using your data. So we build a node on this access port.
You know the drill. Click and hold on the ported
And
node
that
and release on its new
will
ability.
let us connect this bridge area. So we've got an enemy node here. We can't directly
You're
attack
going to
into
need to try
that,
something different here.
but we have
Click and
the
hold your
ability
node. Select
to
expand, release,
basically shoot a
activate. Aim it
node
behind that enemy node.
over in this direction, even into enemy territory. Which you only, like, I think that's the only time you really use this in the tutorial, but you know, it's kind of an interesting mechanic. So yeah, you just keep building out, and this is more the puzzle aspect to start with. But this does then blend into the actual RTS
Access
aspect.
ports consume memory, and you're running low. But you can upgrade your access core to get more memory.
So we do that.
Click the button on your HUD, left of your memory count.
Now try opening the gate. Now have memory once again.
Might be lucky, and this one has something that'll make you less useless. Go on,
Possibly
go
there's
and
a
activate it.
keyboard shortcut for that, but I don't know if it doesn't actually say it in the mouse over, so anyway, so we can now decrypt this archive, which is a special thing obviously, and this gives us our first RTS units. Bits, and this is where it starts to have an almost Tron kind of flavour to it.
Using unit scripts like bits will use it up quickly.
So we can plonk those down anywhere in our territory. Those cost 1 each, but they kind of have a limited lifespan.
Oh man, they're dumb. You'll need to be careful where you place them.
Just as a thought, actually, how come no one's ever done a Tron strategy game? I know there have been Tron games, but yeah, I don't think anyone's ever done a Tron strategy game as a thing. That would be cool, that art style. That still holds up nicely even today. Right, so our bits got defeated by enemy bits, but we can just plonk down some more. Although possibly I should have put them further back so they're not immediately under fire. But I can just keep spamming these out, basically. So they'll destroy this enemy node and we can keep expanding.
You can also upgrade your access core again. More memory, more scripts.
So let's do that then. So that's a node. Which we'll be able to, there we go, activate the bridge, and I think, no, they have, oh, they've actually despawned. I thought they might path forward, but no, they've despawned. Just spam down a whole bunch of these, and we might also need a new, oh, let's get that built again before they also want another data generator. Oh no, overflow. Well, that's because we're using too much memory, but as they get picked off, well, that won't be a problem anymore. So it's got a it's a nice distinct visual style. I'm not expecting this will change too much before the game comes out. So there we go, there's an enemy defensive turret. Take that
Not
out.
bad, noob. But I'd like to see you against a real outpost back in the Neuronet. These old things aren't so tough.
We're basically cracking into some old data archive, so this is supposed to be like the noob tutorial kind of level. There we go, that's my AI, you know, compatriot.
My bits are almost as clueless as you. You'll have to take down the barrier for me.
So I've got that as an optional, we don't have
There
to
should
do
be
that,
another
but there's no
access
reason
port
not
over there
to.
that'll let you divert its power.
So can we get that? Probably a good thing to do. So as RTSs go, it's kind of a linear experience, but that does make it rather different from the usual kind of thing. And throwing in the puzzle elements as well. There's plenty of just, you know, classical RTSs at this point, so it is quite refreshing to see something a bit different. So we have a big sweepy laser beam thing to deal with now.
Some access ports have
there we go.
multiple
Deactivate
abilities,
barrier.
but only one can be active at a time.
So you can get through there.
Not too bad, noob.
Yeah, I think you
don't
can.
have one of those laser
There we go.
devices in
I
mind.
actually need you to click to
You'll
get
have
rid
figure a way
of
around
that, so that's fine. Right, so we can then reactivate the laser barrier, because only one of those things can be active at a time, and then we can activate the bridge. And now we basically have to get around to this node here without the things getting destroyed. So it's not actually that difficult, you just have to make sure you have enough bits to keep ahead of the rather slow sweep of the beam. and get a node into
Almost there. Only took you half a day.
territory. It's very, like, considering we're supposed to be working with this guy, it's a bit dismissive. Anyway, so now we have a bunch more turrets.
You've already maxed out your access core's memory capacity? Man, what a lame deck. Mine's the kind that gets skidded.
Well, you know, this is the noob starting deck, so I don't know what it wants from us. Right, so what we can do is actually shoot a seed. Oh, won't get through, because these have a limited firing arc. And I think at this point, can I put things there and have them fire from behind and just take those out? Possibly? Yeah, they will, okay. Right, so we're going to want to, I guess, follow the sweep of the beam. That makes sense. A couple more there. Fire out. Oh, overflow, so we are taking some damage, but you know, I'm just kind of spamming those down a bit. Oh, apparently if you destroy those turrets, it actually, okay. Right. They did their job, but we've lost the nose, so we'll have to put those down again, unfortunately. Exactly where they're going to get blacked by this stuff. Oh well. There's not any real... It doesn't feel like there's any particular penalty for this, but it is just kind of losing me time, I suppose. As opposed to anything material. Take out that turret. Expand.
That's it. Slice and dice.
We've already cleared out this area, so we just need to stick down a node. Which ain't too tough. And this is the newbie starting level, so... Or it could just be I am
You can't just stroll around
a massive tactical genius.
Watch for a pattern, then make your move.
And, you know, I'm just the best at video games. I think that's probably the more reasonable explanation. Rather than it being the newbie starting tutorial level. It is in fact that I am just amazing at video games. Right. Stick down a bunch there. It just deletes that, but that's fine. Keep up the pressure on those. Although that's not nearly so many enemies that time. There we go. We have access to both those nodes. I think, does that... Oh, deactivate regular laser. Does that automatically bring up the... Ah, there we go, cool elevator. That's the thing we needed. Down we go. Next to the next level.
Alright, let's get the hell out.
Next to the next level. You know what I mean. Words. Words are difficult, you guys. Well, there we go. So that's the first part. But that was all relatively simple stuff. The next part gets a little more complicated.
This is as far as I got last time I was here.
So there we are, starting
There's some pretty
off
heavy-duty defenses up ahead
as we
need to get past.
finished coming down on the elevator. And things are starting to get a little bit tougher at this point. as well as some slight graphical glitches. Nothing too bad. Right, so we are starting with one data generator, and we can actually almost immediately upgrade. That's probably a thing we should do. And we've got a thing here. Data packets. So let's see what that unlocks for us. Let's give us something. Currency, I think. So we're now much more into RTS elements, but we've also got some puzzle-ish things to do as well. So, use the access port to build a backup access nodes. I think we need to get one of those ports then to do that. Off in that direction. Now this is my allies' territory, so we need this node here.
With that new access core, you should be safe when the cannon comes online.
There we go. So we're going to have another big spinny laser cannons thing, which is blown up all the stuff that I came down with.
Good thing that wasn't your only access core.
Pew 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 pew
Good
pew.
news, that thing is jacked. With a little know-how, we can make it ours and blow a hole clean through the gate. You see those batteries? We stop them, and the cannon's neutralized.
Okay, so we've got a bit more figuring out to do this time.
I think we can stop the flow of batteries by capturing access ports. After that, it's just a simple reprogram, a little reorientation, and pow!
Oh sure, easy.
Now you're in a secure spot.
Easy.
You should replace the generators you lost.
So yeah, we need to do that. Turn those both into data generators, and I don't think we have the ability to need more
The
territory.
access
Okay.
port should be somewhere up ahead. I'll distract it while you make a break for it.
Essentially, we just need to
So let's move already.
build territory across to this safe zone. Ooh, there we go. We've got
That relay will give you access to
archive
territory
over
on the
here
other
as
side of the
well.
rail. The access port should be somewhere over there.
or a relay this time. Right, so that gives us access to that bit there. So we can get over here. That's going to spawn
Check that archive for something useful. You never
a
know in
whole
these old
bunch
places.
of... no, don't run off that way. Okay.
Slice your way through them, noob.
Pew 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 pew. Right, some slightly tougher looking enemies there.
Come on, noob. Stay focused.
It's
Those
very,
fireballs are
like,
flashing
this
through
is,
your
you know,
face. Bad choice of script.
so rude.
Look around for something you can use. And in future, do some research before you start throwing scripts around.
I mean, they're literally the only things I have right now, but I think the idea is I get the data archive and get something better. I think it's in reference to these shielded ones that we can't do anything about. So, let's see what's in this archive.
Tesla bomb. Nice. You can use it to shut down those force fields near the relay. To use a Tesla bomb, select it in your deck.
Oh. Right, there we go. I have to click twice for that,
First
apparently.
click is where the Tesla spawns. Second is where it detonates.
Oh, right, okay, yeah, I'd forgotten how that works. Nope, left click. So they can take down shields of those things, and that leaves them vulnerable to our little bits. Right, so that's done there. There's
See
actually
how
a
tough those firewalls really are.
data
Hit 'em with
node
the
there. I
Tesla
don't know if we
bomb,
can
and then
actually get
slice
to
and
that.
dice.
We can also work our way, I think, around. I think we have to grab that to. I'm not sure. There's some extra stuff you can do here that you don't
Hey, that
have
Tesla
to.
bomb you picked up, use it to disable those force fields.
Oh right, yes, it wants me to get rid of the.
As soon as they're down, you can slice through those outposts. The access ports shouldn't be much further.
I keep right-clicking when I need to left-click on the thing. Right. Not quite done yet. So that's deconstructing, or is that just mine now? I think that might be mine, that force field generator thing. So I now have access to that relay there. Which I think... Oh, okay, that gives me a mortar, apparently, if I can do that. So you can see this is, yeah, this is definitely ramped up in difficulty a bit. Go and build a node there. Now we've got these kind of roving walls here, but this is all in the shadow of this area here. So where do we want to go for first? I don't know if that's particularly important, but this up here seems like it might be handy. So let's go and grab that as these slidey walls are moving around. That gives us a relay over there. And now we have... I think that's the range of fire, so we might need to spam some things while it's covered. But they're not particularly fast moving, these guys. So we'll see how we do with that. I'll have to come out with a shadow of that, so I think they probably won't last that long. Okay, there we go. There do seem to be somewhere where it can be got, but apparently that was enough. Just whoop, spamming these down as quick as possible. Ah, not quick enough though. To wait for these walls to come back. Right, I'm not sure if this... Oh, this no. Disrupt battery depot. Okay. So that is the thing we need to grab.
What did I tell you? The access ports affect the batteries, just like I said.
So we do want to get this one as well.
One more console not too far from where you are now. Find it and take it.
Okay, so we need to wait for this wall, basically. Whoop, no, yeah, we can't quite... It's not instantaneous, but it is relatively fast firing. There we go. Got the relay. Couple of bits to go and nuke that. I don't know if they can run there in time before they themselves get nuked. So we can plonk a node behind that rock. Oh, not quite quick enough. Oh well. Right, let's try this again. should get it this time. Why there would be rocks in, you know, cyber what's its space. Cyber what's its space, that's the technical term. Why there would be weird rocks there, who knows. Oh, we're gonna have to wait for the wall to come around again, aren't we? Yeah, this can get a little bit tedious. Meanwhile, let's upgrade. Right, there's the wall, so let's pop down some bits, and they should have time to go and pew pew and secure this node. Or data port, or whatever it's called. I think this is the second battery port that we need. There we go, disrupt the battery depot.
That's it! Battery generation stopped. The cannon's neutralized. It's time to put a hole in that gate. Get yourself over here.
Okay, so now we just have to advance on the enemy territory and take out all this stuff here. Actually spam down a whole bunch of units. I don't think we actually needed a Tesla bomb there. We do need one for there. Lock that shield down.
See that? The cannon is offline. Build a node beside it and we can capture and control it. Hurry.
I keep left clicking and right clicking when it's two left clicks for those bombs. Pew, 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 pew.
Okay, this is it. The cannon is locked. Hold back the tide until the gate is destroyed.
This is 100% what the inside of the computer looks like, by the way. Totally. So let's expand our territory a little bit. They are shooting the ammunition, so we, yeah. Now, I don't have any control once I put them down, they just run towards the nearest target. Tesla bombs. Some more bits. There definitely seem like there are a lot more like unit options and stuff later on. This is all, you know, it's basically a demo more or less what's in the game at the moment. Spamming the Tesla bombs. I think we have to capture that node. Or do we? I can't remember. Stop pew-pewing my stuff! So rude. They seem to have taken out their... There we go, we got through.
I'm out of here. Thanks for the help, noob, but you're not needed anymore. For what it's worth, I hope the damage isn't permanent.
Curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal! Yeah, of course I knew this was happening. So, yeah, this thing suddenly turns into a boss that you have to fight. Because of course it does.
Kids playing with it shouldn't. Destroy the launchers, That should bring it down.
So now we just spam out more. There's not. I don't know if there's any particular strategy to this particularly. I'll be, you know, keep building notes, of course, but so you've got territory to put bits down on. But other than that, it seems to just be spamming out the bits. It's kind of hard to make any final judgments on this game though, given that it is in such an early state. And it's not due to come out until next year. Let's upgrade that. We are using up quite a lot of our bits during this, or our data, but we've almost got him. Let's get another data generator on the go as well. Wow, that's just cheating. So it just defeated all the external things.
God damn it.
But of course, it's not over yet.
You're gonna have to bring those pillars down on top of it. There's no other way.
Again, this is 100% what the inside of the computer looks like. Complete with pillars and bits of rock and tiny little guys with guns. 100%. Right, so, destroy the force field assemblies, which is... what side are they on? I wonder if it's something to do with that data fragment thing? We can recover that memory, by the way. I think we don't need that anymore. Right, do I just... I have done this before, I just can't remember exactly how I did it. Did I just do it with Tesla bombs? I seem to remember it wanted me to do something with the deck, but I can't remember how I did it now. Hang on, I might need a moment or two to figure this out. Oh, there we go, that does it. Oh, we are, however, going to need... Ooh. Do we have one that we can turn into... Well, that's not good. Yeah, we need him to fire at our not access nodes, essentially. So you get him to fire at the pillars. Whoop. We've also got some bits to deal with. Okay, that's how you do it. I remember now. We'll want to do this one last, obviously. Right, bits, you are very dumb. The stuff attacking, but you're just kind of standing there. No, I didn't want you to do that. No, first. Oh, crikey. Right, okay. Come on, fire over here. I'll put stuff over here. I'm totally going for a coordinated strategy here and not just flailing off. So I just lose.
That's gonna hurt like...
I may have just lost this, but never mind. You can see how I was supposed to do it. I just kind of slightly failed. For some reason it's telling me battle success, but that's probably because, you know, this is me replaying the level. So that's Neuroslicers. I think you can wishlist it on Steam at the moment, and that's about it. Like I say, the information I have is that it's slated to come out at some point next year. Don't really know anything beyond that, and obviously everything you've seen in here is definitely subject to change, because this, as I've said, is a pretty damn early version of the game, which doesn't have a lot in it yet. But still, it's interesting, and I think once there are some more campaign levels in it, it'll be interesting to come back to this. But yeah, at the moment there's not a huge amount of replayability, but it's essentially a demo after all. So that's it for Neuroslicers. Hopefully you found this an interesting look at an upcoming game, and if you did, you can do all the usual things down underneath the video, and of course, as always, stay tuned for more.